Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Laurent Boukobza and first and foremost, Merry Christmas! Joyeux Noël à tous! Let's start now with actually the 12th sonata. The first movement is an andante con variazioni, andante with variation. Now the rules of variation is unless written otherwise, you need to have the exact same tempo in between variations. But we'll see that once again Beethoven will kind of force us to a little twisting. The way this variation is organized is we have a theme played one time and goes to the end of these 8 measures. And then when the theme is played again with a little bit of variations in it. And then that closes 8 measures later. Then we go to the development or the middle section of that variation. We start off beats. After these 10 measures, not 8, we go back to the theme. And we're going to close. So we have a first section, then a repeated section, slightly varied, a middle section, and then the repetition, slightly varied again, of that first section. So that first section will be basically repeated 3 times. And there are 5 variations. We're going to talk about all these 5 variations. Let's start from that theme. It's from Beethoven. He is going to include so many details, and the articulation in here is extremely precise. From the beginning, we have an enormous amount of slurs, 2-note slurs. Then we have crescendos, goes to sforzando, crescendos goes to piano. We'll have a lot of those. And then we have moments where it's non-legato and legato. So we have the 3 articulations of the piano, the legato, non-legato, and staccato. So let's hear from the beginning. The first note is non-legato. So I let it up. Then 2-note slur. Then 2-note slur, staccato, then 2-note slur, legato, and now recognize that rhythm. We have a little march. It's interesting in the middle of the theme. Then crescendo, beautiful. Remember we talked about the dissonances? Right there. And now piano. Different mood, very legato. Crescendo to piano, then crescendo to piano. Interesting in here is not just the melody, it's the counterpoint on the left hand. And you recognize that? We talked a lot about in the previous sonatas, the chromaticism. Chromaticism again. That chord is supposed to be held. And the second time, because it's kind of, we have woodwind in an orchestra to be sustaining that chord while there's a melody being played, maybe in the violin and the viola, or maybe violin and cello. For conclusion of that first third of that theme. And now, a sforzando offbeat. But on the variations later on, we will. So that's how it's going to vary. Piano, crescendo, to piano, and that. And now we go back to the beginning of the variation. We have a theme, no repeat, and that leads directly to the next variation. So the first variation, here we see that the accents is offbeat on the third. Then the twist comes in the middle section. This time we're gonna have here it comes, and now piano. piano. Then we go to the next variation, variation 2. The theme will be at the left hand with a lot of two-note slur. So the theme here is on the left hand of beat, so. You see, that's what my thumb does on the offbeat. So it's kind of complicated. And do we want to hear more of the left hand? We want to hear more of the right hand. We already heard the theme twice. Do we want to hear it a third time? At that point, a matter of interpretation. Everybody can do things differently. The first time we have. So my right hand just playing this. The second time we have. So it's very complex what's happening inside the chord of my right hand. So it ends. And from there, we go to the third variation. So the third variation, if I was taking the tempo, but I would sound like this. And now I'm sorry, but that's so fast. I felt, first of all, it's kind of jumpy, and it doesn't have the mood that's really dark. We're gonna have to go much slower to create a funeral march. The second repetition of that theme, we have something amazing that accents on the bass, which is on every bass. Listen to this kind of a shock, and Beethoven loves to shock. He loves this extreme contrast, so here's one of those. And then we're gonna have a double counterpoint. We have two voices at the same time in that middle section I talked about. It's beautiful because we have that and two lines at the same time. The second time again. And this time the accents will not be on the bass, but on the right hand. We go back to the theme for the third time, and there'll be no change. And from that ending, which is really dark, we're gonna go to that variation that's all offbeats and very pianissimo. Crescendo, no nothing, it's just very quiet. And then the second time of the theme, so it's a very cute little variation. And then we're gonna end up with the last variation that will have a coda. Yep, we're in Beethoven, so Beethoven likes codas. It's like an ornamentation written on every note. It's flowery, it's beautiful. But he's going to do these double counterpoints in here. So we have the two notes there, and then the melody is on my thumb inside when there's a trill on top. Two notes there. Two notes on the second note. And two notes there again. The first time I had a crescendo here that goes to a piano. Here, I have a crescendo. That goes to decrescendo, so that was my climax. Piano only here. And here comes my coda. And we find again that dodge and tam, pa pam, pam, pa pam. And a little broadery around it, like variation. Back all the elements that we found in all these variations. The left hand so far is merely boom, 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 boom. So pizzicato of cello. And now it's going to be the other way around. Calando, so calming. And that should be the ending, but he's going to add the coda of the coda on a pianissimo crescendo to piano. And I'm done with my presentation, so now let's enjoy this movement without interruptions. So I hope you enjoy this set of variations. Beethoven is the king of variation. Also, he wrote a lot of them. The 32 variation in C minor, the Eroica variation, the Diabelli variations, God Save the Queen variations, and many sets of variations. I'll see you January 2nd, so I'll see you next year for the second movement. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. It would be absolutely awesome. We're very close to it now. And if we can go 1,000, I have a very special gift for all of you. I can't wait to deliver to you. So let's reach 1,000 as soon as possible. You can of course follow me on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and on my website, laurentboukobza.net. Please leave me a comment and let me know how you enjoy this new experience with this before we're entering into the new year. So I wish you early a happy new year 2021 and I'll see you next year. Thank you. Bye bye now.